G'day groovers, rockers, and in between. This is Vinyl Vibes. I'm your host, Jack Hodgins. Today we are talking with early AC/DC session drummer Tony Currenti. Tony grew up in Sicily during the 1950s and early 60s, and it was here he first got into the drums. In 1967 he and his family moved to Australia, and Tony started playing drums in bands around the Sydney area. In 1971 he met George Young and Harry Vanda, whom he would record for with his band Jackie Christian and Flight. One night in 1974, after recording tracks with Jackie Christian and Flight, George Young asked Tony to stay behind in the studio to record with the band formed by his two younger brothers, AC/DC. He would record 8 songs with AC/DC, with 7 being on the group's debut album, High Voltage. However, in 1976 he lost contact with Vanda and Young and never recorded with them again. Since 1979 he's been running a pizza shop in Sydney, but still time to time is playing with AC/DC tribute bands. G'day Tony, and welcome to Vinyl Vibes.
Hello.
Well, let's start at the beginning, Tony. You were born in 1951 in Sicily. Was there much music going on in Sicily growing up?
Well, it was pop music on the radio, which I was following a lot, but I didn't play an instrument. So I decided to bash my mother's chairs with wooden spoons. And I got some sort of rhythm out of that, and when I took up drumming as a 16-year-old, it helped me a hell of a lot.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned there some of the, like there was pop music on the radio. I mean, were the Beatles and stuff like that playing on radio in Sicily?
Well, it was Italian artists, Gianni Morandi and Massimo Ranieri, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, yeah, they were all there. They were a big part of my influence, the Beatles were. And, I sort of like pop music in general, yeah.
What do you think drew you to the drums initially? Like, what made you want to be a drummer?
Well, I couldn't manufacture a guitar. I couldn't manufacture any other instrument than playing drums on chairs. Yeah, I love music in general, and I just didn't like a piano accordion, which my father bought me. I hated it.
I've heard that instead of playing the accordion like you're supposed to, you use it as a drum kit. Am I right on that?
Well, I used to make a sound. I used to play with spoons on it, and I used to make a sound. I used to like that, yeah. 1967
when you came to Australia with your family, do you remember much about that trip?
Oh, yeah, I spent a month on the ship. I had a ball. Spent most nights playing cards, and I used to go to bed at 7 o'clock in the morning after breakfast, and my mother used to go for breakfast. Yeah, I had a ball on the ship. It was pretty good, yeah.
When you first got here, I mean, like to Australia, was it very different to 1960s Sicily, 1960s Australia?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I got myself a job as a spray painter pretty much straight away, and 6 months later I started playing full-time music. Yeah, I wouldn't have never done it in Sicily, what I did here. It gave me the opportunity that I really wanted it. My first money that I accumulated was to buy myself a set of drums. That was the end of it, yeah.
Do you remember how much that drum kit cost you?
The first one, I don't. It was pretty cheap and nasty. It was a premier set. But as soon as I got myself into a band and getting some gigs, I traded in for a Ludwig, which I still got.
Yeah, right. And that's the 1967 Logwood you played on High Voltage, am I right on that?
Yeah, I always had the kit from pretty much the beginning, yeah.
By 1968, you're walking down King Street, I think it was, and there was a band rehearsing. You started playing drums on a chair, and you got invited to join the band. Am I right on that?
Yeah, that was just starting. They had a guitarist teaching them how to play guitar and bass, and the singer was trying to play drums, but I was better than him without playing ever. So they told me to join them. I did, and I didn't last very long either, because as soon as I started playing drums, the teacher of the guitarist invited me to go to a TV show called New Faces with this band. So I pretty much started playing in pubs with him. We formed the first band I ever had. So it was pretty much a lucky thing, you know.
I mean, you mentioned inheritance there. I mean, I've read that because I've read somewhere that your first band was called Tin Soldiers. Am I not right on that?
Well, that was the band that we were trying to make at the church. Yeah, but I only played 3 songs with them, and we did those 3 songs the whole night of the dance of the church. After that, I got the opportunity to play with the guitarist and with this band. I don't even know what name of the band was, but with him soon after, we sort of got 2 new members and formed the Inheritance.
You mentioned that you played 3 songs with the church band. Do you remember what those 3 songs were?
Oh yeah, I never forget it. Was Magic Woman?
Yep.
Gloria. And Rising Sun, the Rising Sun or something.
You've performed on a TV show called New Faces. Do you remember much about that TV performance with Inheritance?
Yeah, the guitarist had this band book in there and broke up a couple of weeks earlier. So he got me on drums, which I wasn't ready, and the guitarist of the church band playing with the guitar off because he wasn't up to it. So we sort of scraped through the New Faces. Didn't go too badly, but we didn't win it either. And that didn't last very long because we formed Inheritance straight after that.
I've read too that you played a lot of easy beat songs in Inheritance. Am I right on that?
Well, the manager we had used to be the manager of Stevie Ray. So he got us to play a lot of easy beat songs in pubs, yeah.
Inheritance got signed to EMI not too long after you guys formed. How did you guys get signed to EMI?
Oh, look, we pretty much got a residency, 12 months, 7 days and 7 nights a week. So within 8, 9, 10 months, the band was sort of playing really well. And EMI signed us up to do 2 singles. We did that, the first one under Inheritance and the second one under Grapevine. We changed our name, and they both failed. We were going really well. We were playing every day. So to get paid as a band was a lot of hard work very quickly. It was a lot of work in those days. Yeah, it worked out well.
The first single under Inheritance was called, I think it was called Cookie or something like that, because that would have been your first time in a recording studio, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah, it sort of helped. The producer of the EMA was a bass player that we played not together, but in the same venue. So I knew him. Made it a lot easier knowing the producer of the company. So Rodko, his name was. He was a bass player for Ladidas. And we happened to play in the same venue with the Ladidas a couple of times. So helped knowing him, yeah.
I mean, what were your thoughts about being in the studio for the first time? Like, did you enjoy being in the studio?
Yeah, I sort of did. It was different. You were sort of playing to the producer and not to anyone else, you know? Yeah, I sort of enjoyed it, yeah.
That second single wasn't under the Inheritance name, it was under Grapevine, and I did some reading, and I think 2 female musicians joined the band, and I was kind of thinking, having those additional musicians, did that change the sound of the group at all, do you think?
That band with the 2 girls, Grapevine, was a great band because we had 3-part harmonies everywhere. We used to play a better selection of songs like Three Dog Night, Lina Simone. It sort of worked out really well, but the girls had a problem. They decided to form their own band because we wanted to leave Jonathan's, and they did. We went on as Inheritance back again as a 4-piece for a little while until we found another name. We changed a lot of names, but the one we stuck to it was Jackie Christian. We just couldn't find the name of the band. We eventually got to Flight, and that name hung around for a while. While we were playing as Jackie Christian and Flight in '73, George Young and Harry Vanda heard the band, and we were the first band that signed up after coming from England. So we recorded 2 singles with them. Second one got given to another singer, but the backing is done by Flight.
As Grapevine played alongside Fraternity, and I mean, Bon Scott was in that band. Do you recall meeting Bon? Yeah. Do you recall meeting Bon for the first time?
No, it wasn't the first time. I met Bon in '68 when he was singing with the Valentine.
Oh wow! Okay. Yeah.
yeah. But I couldn't speak English. So it was more of a hello and goodbye sort of thing.
Okay.
But in 71, when we played with Fraternity, he remembered me. And every time I opened my mouth, he used to laugh. And I couldn't work out what he was laughing about. He said, every time I hear you speak English, it's funny. You got such a curious accent, which I still have, unfortunately. So to him, it was funny. We laughed and drank and whatever was happy times for me and Bon. And when I got invited to record with ICDC, he was the first man to get into the studio, which I haven't seen him for 3 years. And I was very happy to see him again. That was it. I didn't know he just joined the band, you know?
I mean, did you ever think he would go on to do, like, in terms of, like, the fraternity days or, like, when you're, like, 1971, did you ever think he'd go on to do what he did, like, become, you know, this massive rock and roll singer that everyone knows the name of today?
Well, everybody's got their own opinion. He became Bon Scott with the help of George Young, I believe, that he made him do what Stevie Wright was doing. And really worked for him. He had charisma. He wrote some very good words, which ICDC used a lot. And it became what it is, what it was in the 80s. Yeah.
As Grapevine, you guys were discovered by Harry Vanda and George Young. In doing my research for this interview, Tony, I've read and I think I heard in a podcast, an interview you did, that you don't actually remember that initial like talking to them and meeting them. Am I right on that?
No, the thing I used to do the PR work. It was from our second single that we recorded, which we didn't end up releasing it as Jackie Christian, was Ray Burgess, Love Fever. He made a hit out of it, and I was very happy of being involved with that single because becoming popular, I used to listen on the radio. And I had something on the radio for once that I could recognize.
Yeah.
But that particular night that I recorded Love Fever is the night that George approached me to stay back in the studio and play with his younger brothers. So on that same night, I recorded two songs for ICDC and one for Jackie Christian and Flight. So things developed from there, yeah.
Yeah, of course. We'll get onto that AC/DC part, but I also wanted to mention too. I think you guys did a great song with Vanda and Young, and it was called "The Last Time I Go to Baltimore." I think that's a great song.
That was their first single with them.
Yeah, okay. I mean, and I don't think it charted too much, but listening back to that, I couldn't understand why that would be, because I think it's a pretty good song. I think it's a great song. Great. Like, why do you think? Yeah.
I think we made a mistake releasing the other side as an A side, and Last Time I Got to Baltimore was a B side. So it never really got pushed much. Love got pushed and failed again. So we should have released that as an A side. Yeah.
Vanda and Young, what were they like in the studio with you guys? Like, do you have any memories about their process?
Well, they were totally professional, was not drinking at all. We were making coffee and teas. That was the only drinks allowed. And smoking, of course. We smoked a lot of cigarettes. But was pretty much a serious thing. I mean, they were just beginning in making a name for themselves. And they were pretty much dead serious, yeah.
You mentioned you're recording a track for Jackie Christian and Flight, and then they asked you to do an AC/DC session. What track was that again, sorry?
Love Fever.
Okay, right, okay, yep. And so the same night they asked you to do the session?
We finished at 11 o'clock, and George said, midnight, my two brothers are coming with their band. Would you like to hang around to record some songs? I had no idea what was to expect it. But at midnight, Bon Scott walked through the studio, and he was so happy to see me, and it was all great. I didn't know ICDC anyway. Oh, I heard him. We played a couple of gigs in Victoria Park with Jackie Christian and ICDC, but they get all the accolades. We don't get a mention. As a band, I knew who they were. But as a friendship, no, I'd never really met them, never talked to them. Every band sort of in those days wanted to know about the other band, but not particularly members of the band, you know. I knew of them, but I never spoken to them before, no.
So you're in the session, I mean, because you wouldn't have known the songs, you would have just made up the drum parts on the spot kind of thing, am I right on that?
Yeah, I never knew any of the songs they were playing. So, we did 2 songs a night for 4 nights, that totaling 8 songs. But only 7 got included into the album. High Voltage missed out. They released that as a single. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it, yeah.
Did Vanda and Young or the band tell you what to play on the drums, or did you kind of just do what you thought suited the songs?
Now, what George said to me, he said, if you can play the same beat for 4 minutes, you'll be all right. Do whatever you feel is right. Keep it simple, that's it. So he pretty much let me do what I wanted to do.
It was recorded at the Albert Studios, I'm pretty sure. Do you remember much about the actual studio?
Yeah, King Street in Sydney, 5th floor. I had to carry my drums on a escalator. Yeah, on the 5th floor, the studio was.
I mean, was that pretty hard work carrying the drum kit back and forth all the time?
Well, there was, because we were doing gigs before the studio. We sort of met up at midnight at the studio. And ICDC and myself with Jackie Christian, we used to play 8 to 11 or 8 to 10 everywhere else, you know. So it was a double gig every night.
Well, AC/DC, like in terms of when they're in the recording studio, were they a very focused band? Like, did they get in there and play what they needed to play, like no mucking around kind of thing?
Well, they were working out the songs. See, that was the thing. Some of the songs they already knew what to do. Some of the other songs, they had to work them out on the night. So I had plenty of time to sort of make coffee and tea for everyone. I was the kitchen hand.
Do you have any specific memories of the songs they were working on, like that weren't completely finished then? Like, does anything pop up for you there?
Yeah, South River was one of them. Love Song was the other one. I had the privilege to hear them working it out while I was making coffee, so I had a good idea what to do. So it sort of helped me, yeah.
Because I know they asked you twice to join the band. I mean, the first time, when did that happen? Like, which night did that happen when they asked you to join?
The first night was only George asking me, and was the very first night. He had this plan to make Jackie Christian a solo artist and me joining his young brothers. It didn't quite work out that way, but that was his intention. And then on the third night, all 3 brothers come over, called me over and asked me again. I said, look, listening to the songs that I'm recording, it's very easy to say yes, because I like the songs you're recording, you know. Bon Scott being in the band was a big influence for me to say yes. But unfortunately, we come up with Angus saying, we want to finish the album tomorrow so we can go to Europe. And I said, well, I got a problem with that. I got an Italian passport. I can't come with you. So I had to knock them back again. So they didn't give me much of a choice of saying, look, it would be at least 12 months or whatever. If they would have said that, I probably would have said yes. But Angus was in a hurry to go to Europe. He would have gone the next day. And when he said, we want to finish the album very quickly because we want to go to Europe soon after. And the passport issue arose. And I said, I won't be able to come with you. So I actually did him a favor, because if I would have joined and had to wait 18 months or 12 months for me to be a citizen, would have put their plans in jeopardy, sort of thing. Yeah. So in actual fact, I gave them 2 runs.
I don't know much about the history at the time, what was going on in Italy and all that, why that was like with the military service and all that. But how they have gone to just other parts of Europe and not Italy, would that have been okay? Or like, no,
I had to go back to Rome first. Yeah, being an Italian citizen with an Italian passport, I had to re-entry in Rome. And they would have waited for me at the airport and picked me up. No, that wasn't a good idea. No.
Had that not have been a problem, and had you had an Australian passport, or had you not had to do military service or whatever, like, and you had joined ACDC, do you think you would have stayed with them like up till today? Like, do you think you still would have been with them today had you have joined back in 1975?
Well, I would assume that I would have been with them until 1980, because with Bon Scott dying and George Young not producing the band anymore, maybe things would have changed.
Yeah.
But while George Young was producing them, there very much that would have replaced me. Yeah.
Would you have enjoyed the rock and roll lifestyle that they were kind of living at the time?
Yeah, it was so easy. I thought it was a lot easier than what I was used to in Jake Grissom and Flight. So yeah, I enjoyed their songs. I still play them actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them, yeah.
After you did the session work with AC/DC, you continued playing in Jackie Christian and Flight for a little while. Am I right on that?
About 6 months. And then the band split up. The bass player went to England. Jackie Christian wanted to go solo. He needed the band more than what we needed him, But he couldn't be told. He thought he was it.
Can't remember which month High Voltage came out on record, but I was thinking, like, when it came out originally, did you get a copy?
Oh, yes. I got a copy of the album and the single.
Yeah, right. Do you still have that that record you bought? Do you still have the original one you bought?
I didn't buy it. They gave it to me.
Oh, cool. Okay, even better.
Yeah, they gave it to me. Some of the records that I recorded, George made sure I got a copy of one of the first copies they ever made.
Of course, I mean, you stayed on recording for Vanda and Young. I think your next artist, Stevie Wright. Am I right on that?
Yeah, we done Black Eyed Bruiser soon after, minus 2 songs. So they were using several drummers, but I believe once they started using me, George quite liked the way I was playing, and he made sure I would have been there. Then when Jackie Christian split up, I changed address. I didn't have a phone number, and he couldn't get in touch with me anymore. So I gave it away by opening up a pizza shop.
Because you play drums on Evie Part 3, right?
Yeah.
All 3 parts of that song are fantastic together. And I mean, they would have recorded each part separately then. If you're only on Part 3, it would have been separately recorded and then stuck together, I'm guessing?
Well,
yeah.
Part 1 was finished in England. Part 2, I got no idea where I got it from because I didn't need a drummer. And Part 3 was add-on to it while they were in Sydney. So, I got that opportunity of playing in that. So I was very happy because playing with my band, a lot of easy beat songs. We used to play a lot of easy beat songs. I never thought that one day I would play for Stevie Wright, George, and Harry. I priced that higher than playing for AC/DC, believe it or not. They were my idols in the late 60s, early 70s. I did a lot of their work on stage, my band, and sort of looked up to them, knowing that George and Harry had a studio at Albert's and wanted to record the band. Was an highlight for me, but got better. I ended up playing with Stevie Wright, George, and Harry. So for me, it was very, very special, yes.
In saying that, I mean, like Stevie Wright, like what was he like to work with? I assume like you got to see him working in the studio and, you got to work with him directly. I mean, what was he like in the studio?
Well, look, with him and Bon Scott, privately, their private life, I didn't know much about it. But associating them with music, and they always were great fun to be with. They didn't seem to have a problem in the world. They always acknowledged you. I was quite at home with them because I always thought I had a good sense of humor, and I blended in really well.
Of course, you mentioned a little bit earlier, Vanda and Young were like your drum playing. I mean, what do you think it was about your style and like that they liked so much?
Well, when I recorded Black Eyed Bruiser, it was totally different. It was more to the style that I was used to. With AC/DC, the only thing George mentioned at the beginning, he said, listen, just keep it simple. If you can play for 4 minutes the same beat, you might kind of drummer. So that stuck to my head all along, actually doing less is actually more. Yeah, I concentrated on that after that, and I stopped playing for 40 years, and now I can still play high voltage because it's pretty simple.
So would you say that your drumming style on Stevie Wright's album Black Eyed Bruiser was different then to your drumming style on high voltage?
Oh yeah, definitely different. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
See, the drummer you listen to Black Eyed Bruiser, the album, is actually my own style. That was the drumming that I was doing years after years. So AC/DC was something new for me, but much simpler. And I felt quite at home, and George loved it. That's all what I can say.
Because then you worked with John Paul Young. I mean, that was more of a disco kind of beat on those Young records, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, was that I'm just trying to think back to the album, Black Eyed Blueser, High Voltage. I mean, High Voltage, very simple rock beat. I mean, yeah. Would you say? I mean, again, was that different than working with John Paul Young, like in terms of the drumming style, like to working with AC/DC and Stevie Wright?
Yeah, all three of them are different. But with Jackie Christian and Flight, we were playing all sorts of different styles. So it sort of suited me to play somebody else's style or change style. I was doing it all the time, so it wasn't any different,
Yeah, and you mentioned, so 6 months after AC/DC, Jackie Christian and Flight break up, and so after that you didn't really do much with Vanda and Young?
No, because when George needed me, he used to ring Jackie Christian to pass on the message. And I lost that contact with Jackie Christian and changed address with no phone. And we we lost the contact for a while.
You opened the pizza shop in 1979, I think it was, and I think you did your last session with Vanda and Young 1976 or something like that. And you can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But were you just playing in bands before you opened up the pizza shop, like between that last session with Vanda and Young and opening up the pizza shop?
Well, I played with two different bands. One of them was the 69ers, which they were quite popular in the late 60s, early 70s. And then I left them and I joined a little band called Winter. That didn't last much longer either because, when you've been playing with a band like Jake Wilson and Fly for 6 years and you had the opportunity to join AC/DC, I also had the opportunity to form a band, the All Stars, for Stevie Wright, and somehow didn't happen. So I didn't feel like comfortable to start all over again. So I decided to open up a pizza shop, and I started working in pizza shops, and I didn't have the time anymore. I lost contact with George. Actually, George was looking on a wall. He had about 20 different drummers he could use, and he was still looking for something different, and I was that something different, and he couldn't get in touch with me anymore. So I probably would have kept on working for him for some time more.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that pizza shop's still open today, isn't it?
Yeah, my son runs it. I was there on Friday night with some tribute band, Thunderstruck, and a friend from Melbourne, which is an AC/DC fanatic. I worked on a harbour cruise yesterday, and I played 4 songs of AC/DC on that boat. So I still play the old songs of the early years of AC/DC. Yeah.
Have you got any more work coming up, like in terms of music stuff? Have you got anything booked in, or like, yeah?
I'm playing with High Voltage Band, 1 gig.
Yeah.
Then there's Born Not Forgotten by James Smalley. Every time they come to Sydney, I get invited to play a couple of songs. I had the chance to play on the same bill with Simon Wright. So it's been good to me. I pick and choose more or less because I'm not really fit enough to play all-nighters. And last May, I played for 2 weeks in France, Bonthurst. Yeah, I still get around, but I pick and choose what I want to do. Yeah.
Do many people recognise you? Like when you're at the pizza shop, do many people recognise you, or you're like it's someone that played with AC/DC back in the day?
Oh yes, yeah. I get that all the time. I get visitors from Austria, Germany, France, England. They come to the pizza shop to meet me, and it's great.
Yeah. Is that a nice thing for you, Tony? Like, do you love that happens?
Yeah, it brings back a lot of good memories for me. So I enjoy it. Even now, I find it very difficult or difficult to realize I was never a member of the band. The fans accepted me like if I was a member. So I feel embarrassed sometimes, but I'm sort of happy that they recognize me for it.
I think we have to mention also Jesse Fink's book, because that really brought your story to...
Well, I didn't play for nearly 40 years.
Yeah.
Jesse brought me back. He asked me to play High Voltage on the 40th anniversary of that album, and I said no. He said, why not? I said, mate, I haven't played for 40 years. I don't know how to hold a drumstick anymore. My son was listening to the conversation. He said, Dad, I never heard you play. It's true. When I gave her away, I just got married. So most of my kids never heard me play. So that convinced me to do it just once. Yeah. And I've been doing it ever since. Jesse brought me back. I had 4 tours of England, 4 in Italy, 1 in France, 2 in Spain. So I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do in 75.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Forgot to mention this a bit earlier, but just before we go, I have a mate who's a big fan of AC/DC and he loves your work with AC/DC. His name's Mac. I was just wondering if you would give a shout out to Mac, just saying g'day and yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Mac. I hope you follow AC/DC forever and remember me by it. Yeah.
He'll love that. Well, thanks, Tony.
No problem.
Well, thanks, Tony, for your time today. I really appreciated it, and it was great talking with you.
Okay, likewise. Thank you.
My guest today was early AC/DC drummer Tony Currenti. Tony is still playing here and there with AC/DC tribute bands, and his pizza shop he opened in 1979 is still running. It's called Tonino's Penshurst Pizzeria. And so, if you're in Sydney at all and want to get pizza made by an AC/DC drummer, head on down to Tony's Pizza Shop. Remember to share this episode with other music fans. And if you really enjoyed this edition, let us know. Thank you for tuning into this edition of Vinyl Vibes. And to all you music lovers out there, stay groovy.